All right, everybody. This is day 3 of the Dynasty spoilers. We have so many to go over. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first one is a warrior card called Iron Song Pride. It costs 1. It is a majestic. It is a warrior instant aura, which is a whole new sort of thing to have an instant aura out for warriors. Because it is an instant, it has no attack nor defense. Okay, so let's get right into what the card does. Put a +1 counter on a target sword you control. Okay, so that's very Dorinthia-esque, as well as the art, as we can see. When Iron Song Pride leaves the arena, remove all +1 counters from swords you control. At the beginning of your end phase, if a sword has not hit this turn, destroy Iron Song Pride. So, this is an aura that puts a +1 counter on your sword at instant speed, so you can use it almost as an attack reaction. And it's just a free counter that does not go away unless your sword doesn't hit. So I honestly think this is going to be an auto include in Dorinthia decks, whether you are running the old Dawnblade or the Dawnblade Resplendent. This is a very good card. So very cool to see where this goes. This might make the new Dawnblade Resplendent a more used card now that we have more ways to give it counters. And that sword doesn't lose its counters as hard. Iron Song Pride was given to us by Flukenbox. Let's get to the next one here. Diabolic Ultimatum. So Runeblade action. Another majestic here. Cost 3, defends for 2. If an attack action was pitched to play Diabolic Ultimatum, each hero chooses and destroys an ally they control. If a non-attack action was pitched to play Diabolic Ultimatum, each hero chooses and destroys an aura they control. A lot of auras in the game now, even the ones you might not think of, like Seismic Surges or Rune Chants. So, I could see this possibly being something. This is an action that does not have go again. So this is like the end of turn type action. It does cost 3. It is pretty costly. I think this is mostly going to be a sideboard card for the aura decks such as Channel Malroic Briar. Maybe you can use it against a Channel Lake Frigid. Or you bring it in against Dromize to kill her allies. So I think this is a sideboard card, but it's always good to have these sideboard cards. Alright, Diabolic Ultimatum was given to us by, we have a huge list here, Lost in Spacey. That person gave it to us. Okay. Alright, next one. Another Runeblade card. This one is a weapon. So we get a new Runeblade weapon and a new weapon type because this is a book. And books are two-handed. This is a big book. Big book. Annals of Sutcliffe. Once per turn action, pay 3, draw a card. If an attack action card and a non-attack action card was pitched this way, create a rune chant token. So it's a end of turn effect, as most weapons tend to be, especially for rune blades. This one allows you to draw a card, which might just always guarantee you an arsenal. Not terrible. But also, if pitched in a very weird way, you can create a rune chant as well. This is just a rare. It's not like a special weapon. Right now, Rosetta Thorn is definitely the weapon to still use. But Briar's not going to be here too much longer. And once she goes, she'll take her blade with her. So having some extra options, I could see Annals being used, or at least tried. So we'll see. We'll see. Annals was given to us by Dead Summer Art. Dead Summer Art spoiled that card for us. All right. Hemorrhage Boar, a ranger action arrow attack. It costs 1, swings in for 5, defends for 3. It is an arrow, so it can only be played from Arsenal. And if you control bow, if Hemorrhage Boar has an aim counter on it, it has when this hits a hero, destroys a card or destroy a card in their arsenal. So this becomes a Command and Conquer type arrow. So we're getting a lot more cards that have that Command and Conquer feel to them. If you remember right, let me go scroll this up all the way up to the early spoilers when we got the bow here. There it is, the Sandscour Great Bow. This bow is the one that adds aim counters to the deck. So you can look at the top card of the deck. You may put an arrow from your hand or top deck face up in the arsenal. When an arrow is put face up in the arsenal from your deck, put an aim counter on it. So it would seem like what we're probably going to get with these new arrows is an Azalea style deck where you're controlling the top of your deck, and then you're bringing in arrows that are going to benefit you from using the bow's effect to give it an aim counter. And this one having an aim counter is 1 for 5 with a command and conquer effect. It's just actually really freaking strong. So very cool, very cool. We're definitely going to see a new type of ranger, and maybe this is the type of ranger that puts Azalea up. I don't know yet. I'm not convinced quite yet, but maybe she's a little bit more competitive now. All right, moving on. Okay, next we have, Dreadbore was given to us by, where is it? Not Dreadbore, what was it called? Hemorrhage Bore, that's why I can't see who it's given to. It's given to by Hometown TCG. Hometown TCG gave us Hemorrhage Bore. Okay, sorry. Next, Hornet Sting, a ranger equipment, arms. Okay, so they've had the arm equipment before, but let's see what this one does. Whenever Hornet Stings defends, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an arrow card, deal 1 damage to the attacking hero or ally. Otherwise, put it on the bottom of your deck, and it has Blade Break. So you can look at the top card of your deck with this one. If it's an arrow card, you're dealing 1 damage. If it's an ally, if it's like a Vincerikai, that will kill a Vincerikai, which is awesome. That's pretty cool. And then it, like I said, it allows you to have an arrow on top. Otherwise, you put it on the bottom, and knowing what the arrow is on top, you can do a lot of funky stuff with that. So it works out pretty well with how the new ranger is supposed to be played, it looks like. So Hornet Sting was given to us by Sloop Dupe. Sloop Dupe gave us this one. All right, next up, we have the Young Arachne. I didn't know he was going to be a young hero. This one is a rare, so it's majestic to get the adult version, a rare just to get the young Blitz version. I'm actually happy that this a young Arachne, because I do feel like this guy is cool enough to be played both in CC and in Blitz. So we get to play him in Blitz, and yes, he does have the same ability. He looks pretty cool. Looks like we still got the hump, so we'll have to see what that all means. But Young Arachne was spoiled to us by Trader, so Trader gave us this one. All right, moving on. All right, now we got Mechanologist card. We're back at the Majestics. Plasma Mainline. It is a action that's an item. It costs 2. Because it's an item, it does not defend. Plasma Mainline enters the arena with 5 steam counters on it. When it has no steam counters, destroy it. When a Mechanologist item with cost 2 or less enters the arena under your control, you may move a steam counter from Plasma Mainline to that item. So kind of a cool thing. Like you play it out and your items get steam counters as they come out, so it takes that extra turn from loading them. However, because it's an item, it doesn't have go again or anything. This has to be played at the end, and I'm not sure if this is actually a card that we're going to see. Sure, Datadol will play it, and even then, that's a maybe. So I don't know if this is actually a game changer for any Mechanologist hero as it stands, but I'm not a mech main, so let me know if you disagree and tell me why. But Plasma Mainline was given to us by Spark of Genius. That is a mech card, so it's only, makes sense that they would give us a Mechanologist spoiler. Okay, so next up, Dust from the Red Desert. This is a Draconic Illusionist action. That's an Ash, so keep that in mind. Is a 0 cost. It defends for 3. It's really cool that Dromai's getting some cards from this set. Material. So while this is under a permanent other than Vincerikai, that permanent has Phantasm, which I had to read this a couple times admittedly, but basically what this is saying is if this goes under Vincerikai, because it's an Ash and you gotta transform an Ash to make a dragon, Vincerikai won't have Phantasm. So Vincerikai will be a real dragon, You know, not an illusion dragon, but a real dragon. Which that's a very scary dragon to be real. You know, like that's a dragon that you better kill sooner than later, and you can't pop it. So you're gonna have to put 6 block in front of it if you don't want to take the extra 3 arcane. So a very cool card that really sets up Vincerikai. It costs 0. It pitches for red. I think this fits in a Dromai deck. I think Vincerikai is going to be a 3 of in every Dromai deck, and we will see Dust from the Red Desert probably as a 3 of as well. It just blocks for 3 as well, so it's just a good solid card all in all. All right, and that one was given to us by Dragon Shield, so that's also kind of on par, on theme. Okay, next up. Another Ranger action, arrow attack. This one's called Heat Seeker. I love this name. 1 for 5 again, blocks for 3. When this hits at the beginning of your end phase, put the top card of your deck face up into your arsenal. Kind of reminds me of Pathing Helix, but this is from the top of your deck face up into your arsenal. And this is at the end phase also, so it's not like you get to do other stuff. But, you might be able to get an aim counter from it if you have the bow by doing this. So very cool that it just does this on its own. This doesn't need an aim counter to do anything. This is just a good solid arrow that can really go in any playstyle Ranger deck. I honestly feel I think it's really just that good. All right, Heat Seeker was given to us by Lothar HS. Okay, next up, Cleave. Your next axe attack. Okay, sorry. Cleave is I cannot tell. I think it's a 1 cost. A 1 cost warrior action that defends for 3. Your next axe attack this turn gains +4. And when this hits a hero or ally, you may deal that much damage to another ally controlled by the same hero. It has to go again. Okay, so this is targeting the axes. We got spoiled a new axe for this set. So maybe this is to help out that axe. Of course, you always have the Bolton axes as well. But it's a pretty cool card if you're going against like Dromai, where you can just basically with 1 swing kill 2 allies. That's actually really cool. So might be more of a sideboard card. Given an axe +4 for 1 is not the worst either though, so who knows. Okay, so Cleave was given it to us by the Ragamuffin Man. Maybe not a little on par on that one. Maybe that guy should have revealed a wizard card, but that's okay. All right, next up. We got 3 cards. 3 cards. We'll go from left to right here. Blessing of Ingenuity. It is a Mechanologist action. That's an aura. It costs 1. It defends for 3. At the start of your turn, destroy Blessing of Ingenuity. Then put up to 3 hyperdrivers from your graveyard and or banish zone into the arena. So even if you boost them away, you can bring them back. So that's always really nice. And then, you know what? I am going to skip the middle for last. Next up, we have Galvanic Bender. This is a equipment, the arms. So Mechanologists finally get the arms. So you finally have a full Mechanologist set here. It has material. While this is under a permanent, the permanent has +1 attack. And it has Battle Worn, so it defends for 1. Nitro Mechanoid is the big card here, which is a Mechanologist weapon equipment item. It has all of the types on it. It's a whole new type of card basically. So let's get into it. So action, banish card from under Nitroid Mechanoid, and then you attack. Right now, it would swing for 5. If you have Galvanic Bender under it, it would swing for 6. It has Overpower, which means it's, not quite dominate, but, almost dominate at home. And then it has Temper. So it starts out at 5, which means it can defend 5 times before it gets destroyed. Now, let me see if I can show. Yep, here it is. Perfect. Now, how do we make that? What even happens to make that? Well, let's get into it. So it's Construct Nitro Mechanoid. So it's a flip card. So this is the front side. This is the side you would play first. This is a yellow. It pitches for 4. It's a majestic, so it's only in yellow. Defends for 3. Transform target mechanologist's head, chest, arms, legs, and 3 hyperdrivers you control into nitro mechanoid. If you don't, negate this. Okay, so you have to run the full mechanologist set, right? You have to run that full set, put them all together with 3 hyperdrivers that I'll remind you that ingenuity, blessing of ingenuity, helps bring out. And then you get to flip open over the card. Each of those cards are banished underneath it, so that would be a total of 7 cards banished underneath it. And boom, there you go. You got Nitroid Mechanoid, an attack that comes in for 6, that blocks for 5. What's really cool about this is with like your Teklo Heart, you can have that defend for 2 and then 1. You can defend with Galvanic Bender because it's also battle worn, so you can defend that for 1. Your boots won't defend and your head won't defend, but basically you can get 4 defense out, right? 2 and then 1 with the chest and then Galvanic Bender. So it's 4 defense. They can't block anymore, but once you put them under Nitro Mechanoid, boom! Now you got a whole nother defense of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what's that add up to? 5, 9, 12, 14, 15 defense. That's pretty insane. 15 plus the original 4. I mean, you know, I really like this. I'm very curious if, you know, this is a deck that is worth, like if this card is worth making a deck revolve around. And then you can still probably do Pistol Dash. I don't know. I just, as a non-mechanologist player, I'm not sure what to think. But I will say I'm intrigued and I might want to try it out. This one, all these 3 cards, were provided to us by the professor from Tellurian Community College. He also made a pretty cool video with it, so I'd check that out. All right, next up, Berserk. And hold up, I think I got a better picture here. Berserk. Okay, comes in. It's a yellow. It is a majestic, so we're only going to see this in yellow. Cost 1. It is a brute action, and it defends for 3. Until the end of turn, whenever you discard a random card with 6 or more power, banish it. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it has 6 or more power, draw a card. So this card is actually pretty damn good. This card can actually be played in both Rhinar and Levia. The banish ability is very good to negate Levia's Blood Depth. So that's very nice. And then as far as like, you know, just like the intimidate factor with Rhinar, being able to get the discard mechanic going and then drawing a card after the fact to make up for it. I actually think this card's pretty good. I understand it's a little weird. You got to have a little setup to do it. But, you know, it only costs 1. You can do a wild ride with this and it would work out very nice. A pulping work out very nice. So I actually think this card's very good, and we are probably going to see it in like every Rhinar and Levia deck, I would think. This card was given to us by Man-Sant. Or Man-Saint. So, you know, yeah, good on Man-Sant. He go back playing Levia. Anyways, all right, next one. Another majestic. It's all majestics today, it seems, which is, hey, I'm not complaining. So this is a yellow Cryptic Crossing, cost 3, swings for 6, defends for 3. Runing Blade action that attack action. If an attack action card and a non-attack action card were pitched to play Cryptic Crossing, so it's kind of like the book, you know, where you have to pitch both. It has, the first time this deals damage to a defending hero, they discard a card and you draw a card. So has like a pummel effect to it with an additional benefit of you drawing a card, which is pretty insane. You do have to pitch a attack and non-attack to make this work. It costing 3 might be okay to do it, but basically it says you have to play 2 cards in order to play this card. And then if it hits, you get the effect. You know, the draw card effect is actually pretty huge, and so is discard. Like, this does demand blocks, so it does demand at least 2 cards from your opponent if they, you know, block for 3 each. So I think this card is actually pretty good. I think it's probably worth it. It's interesting, Runeblade getting tall like this, but I think when you're bringing out a card like Cryptic Crossing, I think you can make it work. It might be tricky to pitch for, and it might make it not a great card. But I'm gonna wait and see on this one. You know, if you think it's amazing and should be played immediately, let me know. Definitely, like, make it, you know, put what your thoughts are in the comment. I'm interested. That one was given to us by Spike Feeders. All right. Next up, we have Hyperdriver is just getting a reprint, basically. So this has already been a thing. I'll just go over it real quick here. It's a common. It is a battlefield with 3 steam counters on it. When it has no steam counters, destroy it. Once per turn, when you boost a card, remove steam counter on it and add a resource. This is obviously needed for the Nitro Mechanoid. So yeah, these are new cards. I don't know if these are given to anyone in particular as far as spoiling. I would think that would be kind of a lame spoil because this card is just getting reprinted. And it looks like, yeah, no one's giving it to particular. So that's good. Okay, sorry. Now let's go back to the new spoilers. Another Majestic, another Draconic Majestic, and this one is very similar to the last one. This one is Dust from the Shadow Crypts, a 0. Draconic Illusion action, that's an Ash, defends for 3. And while this is another permanent other than Necria, it has Phantasm. So this is Necria's Ash that makes Necria not have Phantasm. Necria is a card that swings in for 4. It's a card that every time it hits or deals damage or is dealt damage, create Ash. So this is a card that you would want to keep around a little longer just because it's a constant Ash engine. So I think it is very worthy of having its own little Ash to materialize into and making it a real dragon. So very cool. I think most decks run a 1 of Necria, so that might change. You might increase that with this Dust. We'll see how that goes forward. It's not as strong as Vinserakai, but I think if you can make Necria lose Phantasm, it might be worth, you know, running both these cards. So we'll see how that goes. And this one was brought to us by FAB Labs. So Fab Lab. That's a cool name. I like that. I like that name. Okay, next up. And it's been a while since we've got any new light cards. So this is a light warrior action. This is an item nonetheless. So it's very interesting. You know, it is a legendary. So this is our second legendary. And this is the second time, or I guess second set that legendaries are actions, right? They're not pieces of equipment or weapons or heroes. Instead, there are actions, which the last time they did this was in Monarch. So it's very interesting to see, okay, well, you know, you had your legendary shadow actions with Doomsday and Eclipse. Well, now you're getting your legendary light actions. Spirit of Irina, I don't know how you say that one. I'll be honest with you. Legendary, so you can only have 1. If Spirit of Irina would be put into your soul, instead put it into the arena. You may play Lumina Ascensions as though it weren't an instant. So, I played Boltyn in the first Pro Tour. I'm very aware of the Lumina Ascension combo. I enjoy playing Boltyn. And my verdict on this is really up in the air. You know, I don't know if this really is the edge Boltyn needed. I think it's very interesting, but and you can kind of sneak in your Lumina Ascensions at this point, but I don't know if this is the way to go. I need to do a bit of play testing and really try this out for me to determine. But again, let me know what you think. Either way, it's very interesting that we're getting our light illusionist, or light, sorry, not illusionists, but our light legendaries. And so, yeah, I'm very curious to see if we'll get another one, especially now that Prism is rotated, or not rotated, but, you know, is out of CC from hitting living legend status. Whew, it's been a mouthful. Anyway, Spirit of Arena was given to us by Ubershouts. So very cool. Ubershouts got to give a legendary. Okay, next up. Another Majestic. This one's a Guardian action. We're getting some Guardian cards now. So Buckle, blue. It pitches for 3. Obviously being blue, it costs 3 and defends for 3. Action. Your next Guardian attack this turn gains +1, dominate, and when this hits a hero, destroy equipment they control with a negative counter on it. Go again. This is a lot of people are comparing it to Terra Sunder because it is another like set up card that costs 3 that gives dominate and a bit of power to. I will say I think Terra Sunder is the better card. I think Buckle is okay. Probably great in the mirror, but that's about it, to be honest. I'm not very huge on this card as a Guardian player. I just don't see very much room for it as of now. But Buckle was given to us by Tannen Grace, the legendary announcer. So very cool. Okay, next up. Savage Beatdown, a 3-cost brute attack action that comes in for 6, defends for 3. Play Savage Beatdown only if you discarded a card with 6 or more power this turn. As an additional cost to play Savage Beatdown, discard a random card. And if the discarded card has 6 or more power, Savage Beatdown has +6. So what this means is that you would have to play Savage Beatdown only if you discarded a card with 6 or more. So whether that be attack or non-attack, something like Blood Rush Bellow might do it for you, right? You discard a 6 or more power with Blood Rush Bellow, you draw 2 cards, and then you pitch 3 or pitch a blue to play Savage Beatdown, discard your other card, and then all of a sudden you're looking at 12 from Savage Beatdown plus a 2 extra from Blood Rush Bellow. So this is a 14 power attack for 3. That's pretty huge. Now there is a lot of you have to meet these like quotas in order to play this card. So it might be a little too snowbally. It might be one of those things where if you're already doing these things, you're already winning. But maybe it's also what Brute needs to get over the edge. We'll find out. But either way, a pretty cool card. Curious to see what happens with it. And this one was given to us by Right Time Gaming. Okay. Next up, BIOS update. We get a little bit of Data Doll art on a card. So that's actually kind of cool. A lot of Data Doll lovers out there, especially on Talishar. I'm sure you've seen them. This is a red Majestic. Pitches for 1, cost 0, defends for 3. The next attack action card you boost this turn gains +3. So it's a bit of a pump. The next time a Mechanologist item with cost 2 or less is banished to play a boost card this turn, put it into the arena. So that's basically Data Doll's effect. So it kind of makes your Mechanologist, even if you're playing Dash, have like a turn of being Data Doll a little bit. It allows you to save your items. I don't know how big that is or how important that is. I personally don't think it's all that huge, and I don't think this is a very great card. But again, not a mech player, so let me know what you think. But BIOS update was given to us by Fab with Matt. That's a cool name. Okay, and now we got another Rude Blade action. This is an aura. This is a Majestic. It is blue. It costs 3, defends for 3. When Looming Doom enters the arena, destroy all Rude chants you control and put that many Doom counters on Looming Doom. At the beginning of your end phase, remove a Doom counter from Looming Doom. If you do, deal 2 Arcane to any target, otherwise destroy Looming Doom. So basically what it does is if you're stockpiling Rune chants, but now all your Rune chants can, instead of just dealing 1 damage, deal 2 damage, which can be a little harder to block, especially because most people against Viserai are going to run only 1 point of AB. And if that's the case, well, now you can be like, okay, well, your 1 point of AB might have stopped my Rune chance, but it's not going to stop my Doom. My Doom's going to come in for 2 points. You can defend one of it, but one is going to leak over anyways. So that's pretty nice in that area. It would, however, where rune chants can all just pop off at once. This one does it, one turn at a time. So I'm not sure what the ratio needs to be of how many rune chants is it worth to put it into this Looming Doom. Maybe 5, but I can't imagine anything past 5 you would want to do this on. So a very interesting card. I'm not very sure how playable this is, but I could see it being a little tricky, and hey, I've been wrong about stuff before. I remember thinking Burn from the Ashes was a bad card. It turns out every Drove My player plays it, and it's because it's great. So, this might be the case here as well. I don't know. Anyways, Looming Doom was given to us by Push the Point, which is our Flesh Blood card. Okay, next up, we got more Ranger cards. Are you a Azalea fan out there? Well, you got some more cards for you. This one is a Majestic. It is a yellow. It costs 1, defends for 3. It's a Ranger action. Your next arrow attack this turn gains +3. If it has an aim counter on it, it gains when it hits a hero. Look at their hand, choose a card, and they discard it. Which is huge. The reason why I say Azalea is because if you can give these arrows dominate with this pump, that might just be enough. I think this is a card that makes me think Azalea can be competitive now. Being able to take a card from your opponent's hand of your choosing is just way too huge to pass up. She was given the Command and Conquer arrow. Now she's given this arrow. I understand they need aim counters on them to work, but if you can build your deck to make that aim counter bow work every time, then you're A-okay, you're gravy. So I think we can safely say now, just as I said on the last video, Arachne is seriously going to be a hero to worry about. I'm going to say it now, and this might be bold, but I'm going to say it. I think Azalea is going to be a hero to worry about. So if you're an Azalea player, now's your time. Now's your time. Deadeye was given to us by... I feel like when I say that, I feel like the after of like a PBS show. This is brought to you by Yuki Lee Bender. Of course, Yuki Lee Bender. The Ranger person. Okay. Let me make sure this one's supposed to be today. Yes, it is. Okay. Imperial Ledger. Okay, so we were given the Emperor a long time ago. Well, now we're finally given more items like that work to his art style. It is just a generic, so any hero can run these, or this one here. It is a Majestic. It's red. It costs 0. It's an item. It is legendary, so you can only have one of them in your deck. Action: shuffle Imperial Ledger into its owner's deck. Create a copper token. If you're a royal, instead create a gold token. So the Emperor is already royal. There is the crown that can make your hero royal, which will allow this item to give you a gold token, which gold is pay to draw a card. So I would say as a Majestic, I'm not super thrilled if I open this up. Perhaps there is some sort of combo item deck out there. Maybe that is the way you really pop off. I don't know. We'll see. If you are janky, this might be the type of card you need to make this combo deck come to life. But Imperial Ledger was given to us by Fabrec. So Fabrec. Next up is Imperial Edict. Another legendary item that is generic, so anyone can run it. It costs 1. It is a Majestic. Action: destroy Imperial Edict. Name a card. The named card can't be played until the start of your turn. If you're a royal, instead, each opponent reveals their hand, then name a card. I actually really like that it's each opponent that has a UPF factor to it, which I think is really cool. You can determine what cards you need to name. And it says reveals their hand, so I wonder if that means everyone gets to see it, which is also very cool. And it's another incentive to be royal. So, you get some of these cool items working for you if you're royal. Just watch out for that assassin with that regicide, or regicide, or whatever you want to call it. All right, this one was given to us by the Table Pit. That's quite a name. Okay, another Mechanologist card, another Majestic. This one is a red. It costs 1. It defends for 3. It attacks for 4. Pulse Wave, Harpoon. All right, so when this attacks a hero, they reveal X cards from their hand, where X is the number of times you boosted this combat chain. Choose an action card with defense less than or equal to X, then add it to the chain link as a defending card. So let's go over a little scenario real quick to kind of show you how this works. Let's say you come in with a boosted card. They defend with it. All right, so your opponent has 3 cards now. Let's say you come in with another boosted card. They defend that one, so now they have 2 cards. Well, now if you come in Pulse Wave Harpoon and you boost with it, or you don't boost with it, whatever, up to you. You get to look at those remaining cards, because you either get to look at 2 because X is 2, or 3 cards if X is 3. And if that is the case, then you get to see their hand and say, okay, yeah, no, you got to block with this card if they haven't blocked with a card already. It kind of forces your opponent to be like, okay, you either don't block and have your, have the person playing Pulse Wave Harpoon choose what to block with, or you double block because you're like, well, they're going to get both my cards anyways. So it's actually pretty cool. I kind of like it. It's actually a pretty cheap boost, and I could see especially Boost Dash running this and really enjoying it. So I like the card. I think it's really cool. Let's see. Arsenal Pass gave us this card, so very cool one there. Okay, and then let's see this one. Oh, this one I love. Okay, Skull Crack. Another Majestic, another brute action, attack action. It costs 2. It defends for 3. It swings for 6. When Skull Crack is discarded at random, gain a resource. First off, 2 for 6 is just good value, especially when it defends for 3. And then on second, it just being able to be like, oh, well, that one got discarded. Guess I gain a resource. Like, that's just a bonus. This card, like, checks all the boxes. This card is just solid. Plain solid. So, we're going to definitely see this in all brute decks for sure. It seems like Reinhardt is getting some pretty damn good cards. A lot of heroes been getting some bumps, and Reinhardt is definitely one of them. This one was brought to us by Yazi. Yazi gave us this one. Okay. And that might be it. That looks like that might be it. It seems that there's one card that is missing. I'm not sure. Paranine was supposed to give it to us. I'm not sure if we went through that one or not. It might be just Dust from the Golden Plains. But that also might be for tomorrow as well. So I will just go ahead and end it here, and just want to say thanks, guys, for listening. We crank out these videos as fast as we can, so I appreciate you guys coming to me to get the recap and get a little extra commentary on each of these cards. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to get you a whole nother video, because they're coming quick and they're coming in bulk, basically. So more spoilers tomorrow. So until then, keep fabbing and start thinking of these new decks.